أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا محمد وآله الطاهرين
اللهم صل على محمد
والرحمة الدائمة على أعدائهم أجمعين. So tonight's class is we talked about the concept of al-hamd. So we are discussing the ayat Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, ayat number 2 after this. So this al is equal to the in Arabic has 11 meanings in total in Arabic grammar, and the meanings which are possible here for the are, first is istighraq, and jinx, and ahad. So now istighraq, these are three possible meanings for the definite article the al, alif and lam, al. So this al is as an abbreviation in Arabic we call it lam. Lam, instead of calling alif and lam, because it is hamza and lam, the abbreviation in Arabic says lam. So this lam has 11 meanings, and here are only 3 possible meanings which are possible here. So if we use the alif and lam in the first and the second meaning, the application practically would be similar, because istighraq means comprehensiveness. And jins means generic. Generic sense. Practically it stands for the same. I mean, if whether you use it in the meaning of jins means generic sense or comprehensiveness, the benefit we get from both possible meanings is the following. Every hamd done by every hamid praising person towards any mahmud praised one is actually praise of Allah. This is the benefit we get when you are using, if you intend that the definite article al, the, is used in the intended meaning of istighraq and jins. This is the benefit we get from both of them, that every praise, every hamd, which is done by every hamid, the praising person is called hamid, the doer of hamd. So every praise done by every praising person towards anything which is being praised, mahmud, is in the real sense praise of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. no one else. So basically, no one is praised except Allah. This is the benefit. This is what we learn. No one is actually praised in the real sense except Allah. No matter who is praising whom, in the real sense, it's actually Allah who's being praised. Because He's the only one who has praise happens towards perfection. We learned already. Al-Kamal. Or towards beauty, which is Jamal. Al-Kamal or Al-Jamal. And the ni'mat which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala provides. So, every blessing comes from Him, every beauty, He is the absolute beauty, and He is the absolute perfection with no deficiency from any sense. So, and everyone else that any praiser praises because of the perfection that he may find or beauty he may find, is that beauty and that perfection is actually given by Allah. So the source of every perfection and source of every beauty and source of every blessing is no one else but Allah. So in the real sense, the perfection that you see in something and the beauty that you see in something and you praise that thing, who gave that beauty to that thing? Allah. Right? So in the real sense, no one is praised except Allah. This is the gist of what we learn if you intend the meaning of istighraq, comprehensiveness, or jins, using the al in generic sense, which is present on the word hamd in the ayat, al-hamd. If you intend that this al is used in this or this meaning, this is the benefit we get from that. Is that clear? Okay, let's go to the third possible intended meaning from the definite article, the al, on top of the word hamd, al-hamd. Third possible meaning is that this al, the al is used in the meaning of ahad. Ahad means, ahad is also several types, but here what we mean is that specific phrase which Allah has Allah how can I say that Allah is doing for Himself. So we are intending that specific way of praising, that specific way of praising which Allah is doing for Himself. When He is using the word Alhamdulillah, there is one specific meaning which He is intending. And that specific intended meaning of Allah when He is doing the praise for Himself, that specific meaning is what we intend. This is the third possibility. So, these are the three possible meanings that you can we can take from the word alhamd. So basically, all the praise belongs to Allah alone. Be it the intended meaning which He Himself is doing for Himself, or any other praise done by any person towards anything or any individual in the real sense, because it's the praise of Allah, because it's only Allah who is perfection, who is the absolute perfection, and Allah who is the absolute beauty and the blessing provider, and praise is done for the sake of the perfection and beauty. So this is about the description related to Al of Alhamd. Now let's go to Allah. Well, we already studied a few things I remember in the 30th. Can I erase this? In the 30th lesson of Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, I talked about the grammatical things which are related to the word Allah, and the grammatical situations which are possible, different grammatical situations which are possible for Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. And in that we did talk about Allah as well. But here in the Tafseer, so Alhamdulillah. So Alhamdulillah. Lillahi. So this Lillahi has a lam added on top of Allah. Right? So we have to discuss what the lam stands for. So this lam has two possible meanings in Arabic. First is Malikiyat, and the second is Ikhtasas. Two possible meanings of the lam, alphabet lam. So, which means in this case that Malikiyat means ownership. Ikhtasas means specific to something. So here in this case, what it means is that all the praise is either owned by Allah, He is the owner of every place, or every praise is specific to Allah only. That's the benefit we get from the lam on top of the word Allah. These are two possible meanings that can be taken from the lam on Allah. So that every praise, every hamd is owned by Allah or is specific to Allah. These are the two possible meanings, Ikhtasas or Malikiyat. Now let's go to the word Allah, for the word Allah we talked about, I did mention the definition of the word Allah. It's the same definition that will apply here. Al-Ism al-Jami, if you remember, Al-Mustajmi, لجميع الصفات الكمالية. The name that combines all the attributes of perfection. Allah is that name which is so comprehensive that it combines all the attributes of perfection. So every perfection is actually Him. Allah represents every kamal and perfection without exception. Every perfection is His. There's nothing which is imperfect. So this name represents that essence which combines all the perfect attributes. So Allah represents that. Well, not every name represents that, but this is the reason why we consider Allah to be the most superior, because it's that name which represents the combination of all the perfect attributes. So now, okay, I'll come to that point. There's another point I want to mention here, but let me come to that point a little bit later. So the third word which needs to be understood here is the Rabb. So Rabb usually in English we translate it as Lord, which is not at all the right translation, but that's how we are habituated of doing it. But let's go to the definition so you can understand the meaning of Rabb. So, Rabb means driving a sawk. Driving everything. Rabb is derived from the Arabic word of al-Rububiyyah. Al-Rububiyyah, driving everything towards its desired perfection. Perfection that it deserves. Driving everything towards the perfection that it deserves to get. This is the meaning of rububiyyah. So there are people you can find in the society who interpret the word Rabb as in the following words. Let me write it here. The owner, companion, leader, Qayyum. Qayyum is very difficult in Arabic, very difficult to translate in English, because Qayyum means that existence through which the survival of everything else is depending on that. I don't know any translation in English language for the word Qayyum of Arabic. So Allah is Qayyum because the survival of every other thing is completely dependent on Allah. There is no one single word, to the best of my knowledge, which can be used as a translation for that. The survival of everything depends on Him. So some people interpret the word Rabb in the following meaning which I am writing here. giving a prolonged life, fulfilling our prayers, teaching, sustenance. Allah is the sustenance provider. None of these are the translation of the word Rabb, but you will find the word Rabb is being interpreted by some people in all of these meanings. None of these are the meanings of the word Rabb. This is what I want to clarify, that none of these are the meanings of the word Rabb. These are the actually these are necessary outcomes and impacts. These, all of them are the necessary outcomes and impact of rububiyyat of Allah, Allah being the Rabb. These are the necessary outcomes of His rububiyyat and lordship. These are not the meanings of the lordship, but these are necessary outcomes and impacts of the lordship. The real meaning of lordship is this. Allah is called Rabb because He's the one who drives everything towards the perfection that it deserves to get. That is the real meaning of Rabb, which is derived from rububiyyat. So Allah definitely provides our upbringing, teaching, food, rizq, sustenance, fulfills our prayers, gives us the life, prolonging extension of our life. Our survival depends on Him. He is the one who is the leader. He is with us wherever we may be. He is a companion. Quran says, "Huwa ma'akum aynama kuntum." He is with you wherever you may be. So His companionship is there, but that's not the meaning of Rabb. And He is the owner of everything, supreme owner. But these, again, that's not the meaning of Rabb. These are the necessary outcomes of Allah being the Rabb. These are lawazim of rububiyyat of Allah. So, Allah being the owner or being worthy of worshipping, again, is not the meaning of Rabb. And the evidence that my teacher gave for that is from Surah Al-Nas. In Surah Al-Nas, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ النَّاسِ قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ النَّاسِ Say, I seek refuge through the Lord, through the Rabb of the people. And then Allah says, Malik al-Nas, Ilah al-Nas. Malik al-Nas, and then Ilah al-Nas. Right? So Allah being the Ilah, the God, who's supposed to be worshipped. Allah being the Malik, the owner. These two meanings are not included in the meaning of the Rabb. And if this is not included, that's the reason why in the next verses these two things are mentioned separately. If these two meanings were already included in the meaning of Rabb, the meaning of Rabb was this, ownership, right? This owner, commonly used as Allah is the supreme owner. If the meaning of Rabb was owner, then why would the next verse say Malik al-Nas when the ownership issue is already covered by the word Rabb? So the word Rabb does not cover the meaning of ownership because it's not the meaning of that is not the owner, right? So because the meaning is not the owner, the next verse says Malik al-Nas, He's the owner of the people.
and ilahin nas, which is another different meaning, not included in the meaning of Rabb. So the third verse mentions another thing, which is ilahin nas. He's the God of the people, worthy of being worshipped. Right? So none of those two meanings are included in the meaning of Rabb and Rububiyyat of Allah. And that's the reason why they are mentioned separately. If they were included, there was no need to mention it separately. Our teacher said. Now, the word Rabb in its Alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen. So now we are on the third word of the ayat. So the Rabb, whenever it's used in the mutlaq form, mutlaq means absolute sense. And it can be used in muqayyad. The opposite to mutlaq is muqayyad. Means restricted. Is it used in the restricted sense, or is it used in the absolute sense? So a word may be used in the restricted sense in Arabic, it may be, and in other languages as well, and it may be used in the absolute sense. Whenever the word Rabb, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, whenever the word Rabb is mentioned in the mutlaq sense in any sentence, absolute sense, it will always mean Allah and no one else but Allah, because He is the only one who is the Rabb. And when it's used in the muqayyad, the opposite to absolute is muqayyad in Arabic, which means restricted. Whenever it's used in the restricted sense, it may mean others as well, other than Allah. Like in Arabic, we use the word commonly, Rabbul Bayt, the owner of the house. So if you purchase your house, you are the Rabb of your house. In Arabic, we call it Rabbul Bayt, owner of the house. Again, this word is Rabb is not used in the absolute sense in this expression. It's used in the muqayyad and restricted sense, and this is what is restricting it. The next word is restricting the usage of Rabb, right? House. So you are not the absolute Lord, you are the Lord and absolute Rabb, you are the Rabb of the house only. So it's a restricted usage. Whenever the word is used in a restricted sense, it can mean anyone other than Allah. Rabbul Bayt, Rabb of the house, Rabbul Ibil. Another usage in Arabic, owner of the camel. Rabbus Sayyara. Today we have cars. You can say, I am Rabbus Sayyara. I am the owner of the car. Sayyara means the car. That's okay. You can say that. Rabb is used in the muqayyad sense, restricted usage, right? Not in the absolute sense. So, Ana Rabbul Ibil, like Hazrat Abdul Muttalib alayhi salam said to the person from the Abraha's army of elephants attacking Makkah. Hazrat Abdul Muttalib, grandfather of the Prophet, said that, right? Ana Rabbul Ibil. Ana Rabbul Ibil. Wa inna lil bayt rabban. I am the Rabb of the camel. They stole his camels as well. And the house has a Lord. Which obviously, what he's trying to say is that, the Lord of the house, the Rabb of the house is going to protect his house. Well, this statement of Hazrat Abdul Muttalib is widely misinterpreted by some people today, and they say we want to sit back in our homes and turn our blind eye to what's going on in Islamic Ummah, because see what the grandfather of the Prophet said to the army of elephants. I am the owner of the camels, so give me my camels, I'm going to deal with what I own. I'm not supposed to protect the house of God, leave it to Allah. I'm not supposed to do anything towards that. So this is not what first of all, he didn't have any support. Second of all, this statement is issued, my teacher said, before the arrival of the Holy Quran, before the arrival of the Sharia of the Holy Prophet. After the arrival of Holy Quran, the final word of God, and the Sharia, the final Sharia of the Holy Prophet, no Muslim, no believer has a right to use this kind of argument by ignoring the Sharia of Rasulullah and the Quran sent on Rasulullah, which is, defining that who is supposed to take care of the house. Quran has already defined who is supposed to take care of the house. So after that has already happened, this statement was before the Holy Quran. After Quran has arrived, no one can use this statement to justify, their behavior and staying idle towards our duties. So in the case of Hazrat Abdul Muttalib, he was making a statement which was before the arrival of the Sharia and before the Holy Quran. So that's a different situation, and that was okay at that time. Whereas also he had no supporters. So coming back to the point that I was mentioning is that the word Rabb in Arabic is widely used in the Arabic language in a restricted and muqayyad sense. Like I gave you examples of Rabbul Ibil, Rabb of means the owner of the camel. Rabbul Sayyara, you can say, owner of the car. Rabbul Bayt, owner of the house, and so on and so forth. There's so many other examples as well. So whenever the word Rabb is used in a restricted, in Arabic we say muqayyad sense, non-Allah, things other than Allah can be intended. It's possible to use the word Rabb for me and you, if we are using the word in a restricted sense, muqayyad sense. But it is not possible to use the word Rabb if it is used in a mutlaq and absolute sense for anyone other than Allah. That's not allowed, because Allah is the only one who is the Rabb. Even Quran has used it, right? Arbabun mutafarriquna khairun, or mutafarriq, different arbab are better for Allah. So even Quran uses the word arbab. That's according to the call of wasaniyin, according to the statement of those people who worship idols. It's according to their i'tiqad of wasaniyin, according to their i'tiqad and belief, Allah is talking. So they believe in multiple lords, right? Multiple Rabb. So the word plural of Rabb is arbab. So multiple lords, which is mentioned in Quran, that's according to the belief of the idol worshippers. But there is no multiple Lord, in the real sense is only Allah. So again, if it is used in the absolute sense in the sentence, only Allah is the Rabb, and it cannot be used for anyone other than Allah. So there's one more last thing that I want to mention here before I end the class, is that another common mistake. I mentioned commonly mistaken meanings of Rabb in the society. Another commonly done mistake about the word Rabb in Arabic is that there are people, when they talk about Rabb and Rububiyyat and Lordship, Allah being this is the meaning of Rabb. I already described it. That's the meaning of Rabb. Allah is the one who drives everything towards the perfection that it deserves to receive. So when using the word Rabb, there are people in the society, there are some people in the society who substitute it with tarbiyat. Another common mistake. Tarbiyat. Tarbiyat, Islamic upbringing. Allah is the Rabb because He performs tarbiyat. Yes, He performs tarbiyat. He is doing the bringing of every existence, including human beings. He is the one who is raising us with all of His blessings. Yes, He is doing tarbiyat, but that's not the meaning of the word Rabb. Don't try to mix these two things. But if you are interpreting Allah being Rabb and His Rububiyyat and replacing it with the word of tarbiyat, that's wrong. If you're trying to say that Allah performs tarbiyat and upbringing, yes, that's correct. But if you're trying to say the meaning of the word Rabb
is the one who provides tarbiyat, that's wrong. They're two different things. Don't replace the meaning of Rabb with the tarbiyat, which is a
different word in Arabic. Rabb is derived from the root words of Ra and Ba, Rububiyyah. Whereas Tarbiyat is derived from the root words in Arabic Ra and Ba and Wow. Rabawa, Raba Yarbu. Raba Yarbu. Ra and Ba and Wow, which means growth in Arabic.
There are two to be. In Arabic, when you go to the root of the word, you make your life easy. You can understand what's this all about. So this rububiyyat, tarbiyat is derived from Ra and Ba and Wow, which means growth. And this Rab is from Ra and Ba, which means, this. There's a huge
Difference between those two things. So don't try to, when explaining the concept of Allah being Rabb, do not use the word tarbiyat as a replacement, which is used by some people. Then this is obviously a misconception. Yes, Allah is the one who performs tarbiyat, means upbringing. Yes, but that's not the meaning of the word Rabb. وصلى الله على سيدنا ونبينا محمد وآله الطاهرين.
اللهم صل على محمد